Our Mo is here. Katy Daley-Mclean joins us. Emma Wassell, thank you for joining us.
Did you have Homes Under the Hammer in Scotland? Why is that funny?
Is it like a mood ring?
Would you be colder if you're sad? There's a freaking lawsuit in there somewhere, I swear to God.
Tumours helped me out a bit.
It was probably the chest out with the scar. Absolute thirst dropping over it.
CHINOOOS.
Anyone that came in the changing room in the CHINOOOS. CHINOOOS.
So some people might disagree with some of my selections, however they can do one.
What will Brian Eason be looking at?
Obviously not going to just tell you what he's thinking. You are going to reflect on what Ireland did. Their defensive pressure. You have to credit that.
I want it to be Elvis.
No. Did you?
Welcome back to The Good, the Scaz and the Rugby in partnership with Vodafone. We were treated to 3 tight first halves in the Women's Six Nations over the last week. England managed to turn things around in Cork against an Irish side who looked every bit as good as we hoped they'd be when we stopped by their camp in Ireland last week. Our Mo is here, fresh from the Emerald Isle.
Perfect.
Katy Daley-Mclean joins us from the commentary box. She's just waving. She is not holding the talking stick to her mouth yet. She's saving her words. I don't know why, but maybe it's because she's been spending them all weekend. And Wales did put up a fight against the French team who've put them to the sword for the last few years. So real improvement with Sean Lynn and the girls in red. Scotland, however, missing out to an Italian side who obviously after that loss to Ireland decided that they were going to roar back into life and chose Edinburgh to do this work. We're lucky enough to join from north of the border. That's not even a Scottish
Nice.
accent.
That was good.
No,
Try
that was
again.
dreadful. Let's
Try
not stop
again.
being nice to her.
No.
That was awful.
Okay, well,
Gotta be nice.
it ended up more Yorkshire than anything.
Mate,
Try
it was
again.
in Yorkshire.
No, I can't do accents. Emma Wassell, thank you for joining us.
I did want to hear more Scottish then.
No, she can't do Scottish. Sorry.
Scottish.
It just
Scottish.
sounds very East
Stop.
London. Yeah,
Aye.
Cockney.
Stop.
Unfortunate. She will stop now. Emma Wassell, how was Edinburgh?
It's sunny. For a change.
Yeah, we got that on the TV too. Can you tell us the things we don't know?
It was a tough one for the girls. They're pretty disappointed with how it went at the weekend, and yeah, not taking any credit away from Italy. They really fronted up more so than we did, but it was really just not a good day at the office, and it was kind of almost hard to pinpoint what exactly it was, other than just a pretty poor performance by us. So yeah, hoping to bounce back.
Fallow week though, outside of the result, time off good?
Yeah, you know what? The Fallow week's a weird one because it's needed. Like, you need that time off, but we actually weren't in camp at all during that week, whereas I know a lot of the other nations were in camp.
Strange, isn't it?
So you play your second fixture, you break up.
Don't need to say anything.
You break up completely. Everyone like scatters to the four corners in the wind.
Yep.
And then how long?
The full week. So as in from...
Because you went back in until Tuesday, was it?
Yeah, because it was a Sunday game, so it wasn't until the Tuesday. So we got released out of camp. Well, they obviously came back from France and then home for a week, and there was a wee bit of like away training to be done. But a lot of people had not a lot at all to do.
I think, to put that into context, when we used to do, can you remember back in the day when we used to do Six Nations, we would go for a while, and if we played well, we would get the week off. So training would be like penciled in, and if we went well through the tournament, they'd be like, have the down week. And it was actually the dream, because normally you've come off the back of obviously doing Premiership stuff, then you go into a really intense pre-season block into the Six Nations. But obviously with the makeup of this year, we haven't had any time together as a squad, so it is a bit different, I guess, which is a bit wild.
Do you think it might change off the back of this result?
As
in future?
You know what? I don't. It's really hard to know, because you go into then 3 back-to-back games, and we're not necessarily rotating our squad. Like, our squad is pretty like they kind of depth we have is not like England. So as in players are playing 80 minutes every single week, and I think when you know you're going into 3 back-to-back games, actually that week off is probably pretty needed to prepare them, but also time together a squad is hugely important. Hard to know. I think there's also there's a money element to it as well, if I'm being totally honest, and I think obviously you need to pay for players to be in there, so But
you also don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, though, as well, don't you? Like, if you had beaten Italy,
That's a good
then
saying.
yeah, it is, isn't it?
That one.
I've been thinking about it for at least 6
What
minutes.
do you mean, throw it out with the bathwater?
Well, like, as in, like, just overreact to something.
Yeah, but why would you throw a baby out?
Well, I think it's what would go down the plug hole with the bath.
No,
Brilliant.
Have you never heard
Sorry,
this
not the point, but I've
expression?
never heard that
Did you
saying in my
not?
life. Yeah, mad.
Oh.
No.
Carry on. Sorry. Carry on. You don't. I agree. You don't want to throw the baby
Yeah,
out with the bathwater.
don't throw the baby out. Keep
Yeah.
the baby, get rid of the dirty water.
100%.
But yeah, basically, like,
If-
don't.
Yeah, if you'd have flown into that game, you'd have been like, best thing ever.
Yeah.
Agree.
Thanks. Thank you.
Are you just thinking about babies?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think because basically Maud had one the other day, which was like, I can't remember what the saying is, and I wish I could remember it, but it was something about, Noah's Ark wasn't built in a day. Was that it? That's not a
Rome?
saying though, is it?
Rome.
Rome.
Rome wasn't.
Rome.
No, exactly. She said Noah's Ark. Why did none of you react? That is exactly why we were laughing, because she said Noah's Ark wasn't built in a day, and then it was obviously Rome. So me and Zoe were creased. But that's what I was doing. I was thinking about that.
Building Rome.
Sorry, Katie.
It's okay, mate.
Right,
Fine.
totally sidetrack your point.
Okay, we're going to talk about rugby at some point again. Let me just quickly find my train of
I
thought.
tried really hard.
Yeah, Rhona Lloyd.
That's
she
not
used-
rugby.
Rhona used her fallow week out of rugby, not training, climbing,
Yes, climbed to Monroe by herself.
which
in-
is Scottish for a big mountain.
yes,
Yes.
gorgeous Scottish Highlands, and the sun was out.
Didn't you say it was the mountain?
What, a Munro?
Yeah.
No, I was slagging off the Wicklow Mountains.
I knew you were slagging off some kind of
Yeah,
mountains.
it's the Irish mountains that got it.
Okay,
sorry.
fine, sorry.
The Scottish
Continue
mountains are
about your
fine.
mountains.
They are very mountainous, the Munros, the
Okay,
big ones.
cool.
Like Ben Nevis, that's proper big boy.
Yeah, he's a big one.
He's
So-
the biggest. Isn't
So she
think so.
goes and climbs a Munro on her week off.
Yeah.
This is how she spends her downtime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that, like, I think that is potentially, that could be the first one she's done, but it's Rhona Lloyd. She does what she wants.
But she's going to be doing more walking soon, right?
Honestly, this girl. So we get after the Six Nations. We get the full month off. I think most people do get the full month off.
Yeah.
So May's like that's. I don't think that's ever been her. I don't know. Just like a full 4 weeks. Take some time off because it's a way to be super intense before the World Cup, and obviously I'm in a bit of a different situation. But I'm like, get on a holiday, chill out, relax, like do nice things. She is going on a 2-week pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage.
Is that what it's called? Like it's a walking holiday.
A walking
For
holiday.
2 weeks.
How old is Rhona Lloyd again? Because I feel like this is.
She's not as old as you.
All of my friends' moms do this, where they walk across Spain.
Why is it called a pilgrimage?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm against it.
You're
not-
against
Which
it?
bit?
In principle.
No, I think she,
The
okay,
pilgrimage.
no.
Lots of people do
No, I
those.
know.
Okay.
She
What
says
bank was
things.
she
No,
take?
she
That's
says
what I
things
wanna know.
like, "I'm gonna find myself on the bed," and like, what is there to find?
What part of you is missing?
She's such a golden girlie as well. She doesn't need to find any more.
No, I know, but
personality.
she just
amazing.
wants experience, and you know what? Bless her. But she has bought some proper like walking shoes, some hideous walking sandals, like proper sandals with like soles, straps, buckles on sandals.
No, we need. Have you got a photo?
Is it like
No,
the-
and I wish I did,
You
but
need to
she
get a
walked
photo.
into camp wearing them, and I just said, well, what is
What
on
is
your
that?
feet?
Did she have socks on with them?
No, toes round.
Oh,
as long as it's not those
no.
shoes with the little webbed, like the little toes, all of the
Toe
toes
shoes.
separate.
No, I feel like they're worse.
The sandal that looks like you can go.
It's
what
like
is
a
it?
Jesus
like fly
sandal.
fishing sandals, you know, like sandals that look like they can
They're
go in the
practical,
river.
practical sandals.
Yeah, those ones.
Terror.
Mm.
Climbs one Monroe. And
No, literally.
Outdoors girl. There we go. Rhona Lloyd on the pilgrimage.
Oh.
She needs to go spread the word of the women's rugby game. We would
That
love
she
her
will.
to please do more of this. Thank you very much.
so good. Her little guide to Scotland was cool. I enjoyed that.
Good content,
Yeah, it
eh?
was
We've
good
got
content.
a new guy in Scottish Rugby who is, he came up with the idea, and he went and took his film camera out around Edinburgh.
Cute.
Obviously asked all the questions and took really gorgeous photos of places in Edinburgh. It's a beautiful city, and I think in terms of when we have home games, we could sell the city as well as the rugby to bring people in, fans in. But yeah, we're pretty passionate about it.
Great day trip. The other day when we went to Scotland, it was someone in our team's first time ever in Scotland. And this is not someone like me who comes from the other side of the equator. They grew up here. And I mean, how have you never been to Edinburgh? This place is sensational. Great value. If you do ever want to do like a weekend away to go watch the Women's Six Nations, Edinburgh, top tier. Great for a night out, but also just a great city, amazing history. And Rhona Lloyd has all of the scoop for you on the Scotland IG. Speaking of on the socials, Rhona is also going around making some sensational content. She's got this little fluffy microphone that she holds in people's faces, and then she asks them questions. And she went around and asked, who is the defence coach's favourite? He first said Antoine Dupont. But then she pressed him for some more.
Evie Gallagher, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
And
but like,
fair enough.
No one's arguing, are they?
Fair.
It was, I said Emma Orr because
weapon. Yeah.
Valid candidate, but EVG makes sense. Does make sense.
Love that. Love the player content coming out. Evie's performance at the weekend. Can we have a moment that she scored as well, but also just in general?
Yeah. No, I mean, the try, that was like, it was obviously a play which really did go perfectly. And that
buzzing when they come up. And
I was jumping up and down.
You're like, there it is.
It's obviously like a line out play, which, you practice it all week. And obviously when you're doing it against each other, it's not the same. And
you've always got drill ruiners. You've always got somebody in the defensive line that knows it's coming or is chancing that it's coming and just wants to put a shot in. Am I right?
But it was so,
generally you.
As in,
not me, I'm in the channel.
Didn't say she wasn't, just that she couldn't defend it.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was very well worked. But around the park, she definitely, I would say, saved us in so many situations. Like, her ability to turn over is very good. And obviously she had a wee week off, so she was ready to get back out there.
She was fresh.
Yeah.
Rhona, however, a bit fatigued.
Up there, Munro's.
Maybe it was the blue hair. Like
she's always got a colour in her hair. Every Six Nations.
Is it like a mood ring? Does it change? Like,
no, it does.
Is there a theme?
It changes every Six Nations.
Yeah.
But not.
Does it?
Yeah, like I think she's had
noticed
purple. She's had.
It's been close to pink previously, I think. The purple. Yeah, it was quite magenta.
But honestly, you just.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because just think there'll be people on here who have no idea what a mood ring is.
Is that a generational thing? Is that only us who know that? So if you are very
guys
small,
are like,
we used to have rings that would change in colour.
Were they actually legit though? Like, would it actually determine your mood?
It's off your heat, isn't it?
Oh God.
Yeah, but why would you be? Would you be colder if you're sad? Do you know what I mean? What? No, I'm not even joking.
No, Mo, it's definitely not legit.
No, but how does it change then? See, none of you, everyone's looking blankly. No one's giving me a straight
I think it's more the fact that it has nothing to do with your mood, buddy. Just your heat.
It's just your body temperature.
So if you're cold, you can still be happy.
I think it's a marketing ploy.
That's obviously not
Don't let the truth get in the way of the good story.
Thing no one else knows about.
No, it's just old people who used to have them back when we were smallies.
Perfect.
And it changed colour based on your body temperature, which had actually nothing to do with your mood. If you're into science,
there's a freaking lawsuit in there somewhere. I swear to God.
If you'd like to take on Mo's lawsuit, let us know.
Yeah.
But only on a no-win, no-fee basis, because we're not spending money on this punt.
And if you are sad, if you're colder, anybody's got any evidence there?
I would like to know.
I'm happy and I feel warmer, so she could be onto something.
So cold must equal sad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Everything's blue.
Okay. The cake that you got from Rhona Lloyd after you earned 10,000 followers, we have to go back there. So if you don't know about this, our Emma Wassell cracked the big old milestone that you say. You see 50 caps or 100 caps are really big rugby milestones. 10,000 followers are really big rugby player milestones for everyone except Ilona Mar.
I can't tell if it's well.
Serious? It jumped, didn't it? Being on this sofa.
This was the start of the pop.
Hashtag just saying.
That's it.
If anyone
What
out
did you
there,
jump from?
I can't remember. I'm
Come
not
on,
sure
just
I got
roughly.
that.
Just give us a rough-
I got like a. You know what? There was a lot of things in succession that happened to me. Obviously, tumours helped me out a bit.
I love
Claim
that
it.
you can joke about it.
Nobody else can say that.
We're all like, oh, are we going there? Are we joking about it?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
That is it. I
What?
mean,
How many did that give you? Like, was that like a 3,000
It
return?
was probably the chest out with the scar that did it more, but
I knew what I was up
Anyway.
to then. I knew what I was up to.
absolute thirst dropping over it.
Different kind of.
Sorry, can you just take it a little bit lower? Thank you.
Is there an audience for scars?
Rhona behind the camera, like, is this angle good, babe?
No, there was a few things. GSR, then I presented match ball at Murrayfield, which
Oh, that would have boomed.
that got a wee pop. And then
With your shoulder pads on.
yeah. I can't remember, there was something else, but yeah. So then we reached 10k and it was obviously a bit of on the lead up to it, Rhona was joking about it and it was very much, oh, big 10k. Obviously people celebrate when they get 1 million followers. I celebrate and I get 10k. It seemed like a milestone. Anyway, I walk into camp and Rhona's like, ting, 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 ting. Everyone's at lunch. We've got a big celebration. There's balloons. There's a champagne bottle. I'm not kidding. So some of the girls are holding balloons. There's a bottle. There's a bunch of flowers. And then there's a cake. And then I'm honestly just like, I think I was just getting my lunch. And I was like,
Whose birthday?
and then they're like, so Emma Wassell has reached 10,000 followers, and there's obviously new girls in there, so like young new girls, first time in camp, and they're thinking, what?
Right, can we just do a shout out? Because if she's done that for 10, imagine if we get to 20. So anyone that's not following us right now,
Get your friends,
please,
get your family.
yeah, go and follow this girl
Look,
because I want to see it pop off.
I
She'll have a helicopter tour around Edinburgh.
I'm so ready for what Rhona Lloyd's going to do next.
the worst part is Rhona's obvious. Again, I can't even believe, but Rhona's obviously got way more followers than me, so her celebrating it just feels all very patronising, actually. And she's like, it's a huge deal, Emma. And I'm like, yeah, is it? Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Thank you.
But no, it's funny.
Can we talk about the gorgeous blazer game that you always bring to the set? So for the audio listener, which started sounding like a rude thing to say last time Meg Jones was here because she wore out the expression completely.
Are you surprised?
But everyone usually just comes in like a t-shirt, you know? Emma Wassell, when she turns up.
Why do you look at me then?
She looks ready
She
for the
literally looked at me
BBC.
there. It was like, oh, wear a t-shirt. Like, what's wrong with a t-shirt?
T-shirts are great.
Uh-huh.
We would like
Backtrack.
to thank everyone for always wearing really nice t-shirts. But Emma Wassell always comes
This is
dressed
awesome,
like for the BBC here.
Look,
She's wearing her serious blazer with the serious shoulder
That's
pads
it.
as well.
I did put it, this is oversized.
Can I touch them?
Just chuck on.
You need to
Ooh.
hold the microphone to
What's
your
that?
face.
Is that your shoulder?
I just chucked it on.
Just had it in the, you know.
It's like I'm really embracing not like I think when you're playing rugby a lot or in training a lot, I definitely don't think about what I'm wearing as much, if that makes any sense. Anyway.
Yeah, we live in t-shirts, leggings, shorts.
Yeah,
long
you're
socks.
just and being comfy, I don't know. But then now I've not been playing, I actually have enjoyed wearing clothes. I love fashion.
She does. Yeah. You are, however, in this massive building phase in rehab now where you lost a lot of muscle and body weight during the tumour phase. Now you're busy building all of that back in, which I'm sure is really challenging, but also how is that proceeding? How far off target are we? Because you wanted to be back during the Six Nations.
I have fought hard to try and get back for the last game, but it was never going to happen. But I feel real good. I think almost back, I don't know, back to full strength, but it's hard. We don't like one, I didn't do a one max rep before I went into hospital, so I actually don't know, but generally.
Sorry, you never do a one.
No, it
you
was
never
like,
do a
what's your
strength
max?
test
I'm like,
until you get injured,
know.
and then you have to do a strength test, and then you have to hit targets. But you never had a strength test before, so you don't know if the targets are right or wrong. It's wild. It's a wild world.
No,
out
I
there.
know, but I muscle memory, crazy thing, like as in how quickly
It goes.
how quickly it goes, but then actually in my head I thought it was going to take so much longer to get back, but it does just come back. I've worked pretty hard though. I'll give myself a pat on the back. I've worked bloody hard because I think as well I've been around camp and I've watched the girls train, and even just watching the Six Nations, like I'm thinking like, Jesus, like I've realised kind of what level you have to be at athletically to be able to compete and to be at the standard I want to be at when I return. And I think I feel quite inspired by obviously the team around me and also like other teams. You're just like, fair play, like if I'm coming back I want to be strong, fit,
That's class.
hopefully good at rugby as well.
Yeah, obviously.
Don't worry about that. Small deals.
Have you found a difference? Obviously, the girls joked about before about you like wheezing loads when you're running. Is the wheeze back? Or
No,
are you like,
so
are
it's
your lung
hard.
capacity
My
mental now?
physio will say the wheeze has gone, so she probably had the closest ears on in terms of knowing when I had it and when now I don't. But it's so hard because the kind of running I'm now doing is very much like contact conditioning, so you've got
Right.
loads of down ups. I am blowing. So I
To
don't
quote Sarah Bonner.
I don't know if it's like a wheeze, less wheeze, like less, more. Did they sound different?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
in
they
more
did.
just heavy
More
out of
room.
breath rather than like almost a squeak.
Yeah. There's no obstruction in the way. Turns out the
No.
tumour with the hair in the teeth is not there anymore.
Mad.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I know.
Do you feel better for it?
I
Or
think
have you not noticed?
I don't know if it's like placebo, but I'm just like
Yeah.
when I'm going, I don't know. I feel good. I feel good, and
That's good.
like the fitness side of it is brutal. It's hard, but I'm quite enjoying the process of pushing myself. And when I was ill, like something I craved, and I got it from the walk bike initially, but like when you're told like you cannot kind of raise your heart rate above whatever, or you can't kind of push yourself, I craved the feeling of like being out of breath or like pushing yourself so you
yeah.
almost feel ill. And I think similarly I like craved like sprinting. Like I was just desperate. I just wanted to full blown
What kind
sprint.
of forward are you?
No, but as in, because you just couldn't, and I was like, I just want to sprint, and my sprinting is probably a jog compared to wingers. I don't know, but I also found out a stat that, and I don't know if it's legit, but like 5% of people like over 30 sprint again. Like once you're over 30, but again, we're athletes, so we obviously think.
Yeah. I don't have a friend who's
But like
sprinting.
none of my friends, like I'm like, when did you last like full blown run?
That's mad.
But like
do you
at
know-
full pace.
Yeah, like as in,
No.
but then again, if you're not doing sport, why would you be?
yeah.
If you want to beat a 5-year-old,
Not valid.
too
but like
fast.
that
She's getting
will-
quicker,
But that's probably because
especially over 20.
Were
Gotta
you
go
ever,
now.
were you
Toddlers.
ever like let her?
I
Will you
d- I
ever
won
be
until
that
she got
parent
to
that
5.
lets them win?
Now she's like, if I let her go too far, I really have to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why
At
you're
what
back on the
point?
protein
Yeah.
shakes?
There's no way I'm getting beat by her.
No, I agree. I
Your
agree.
kids are getting you off the couch.
Oh my God, yeah. 100%. Yeah, I don't want them to win. Like, it's good for them, isn't it? A bit of
I
balance.
totally
bit of
agree.
fun.
I was holding Ollie's hand, my nephew, the other day, and he was hopping on his right leg, and I was like, "On your left now, Ol. Hop on your left. Like, make sure that you're growing up being able to do both. Do you know what I mean? Kicks with his right foot.
Both feet.
With your left now, Ol. With your left.
Poor Ol.
No,
just
he
getting
loves it. He loves it.
Last time I sprinted was when I did that stupid thing with the mascot
Wasn't
outfit.
stupid.
Yes,
You had
it
a
was,
lot of love
it
for
was
that.
unfortunate.
Your followers must have popped off.
And if they didn't, you need to
No, they all
complain.
left. They were all like, no, this woman has completely
Who
lost
is
the
this?
plot. There she is. She's absolutely embarrassing us. We're gone.
Fair play that you sprinted with those shoes on, though.
Well,
Because some people can walk.
Yeah, she was complaining about those shoes for a
the
while.
shoes
Did
were
you sprint?
the shoes were a nightmare. I feel like on the inside I sprinted, but it didn't look like it. It felt
know the
like
feeling.
sprinting. You know,
On
you know
the
the
inside,
feeling.
I
But I
sprinted.
think it looks like that normally when I try and sprint as well. So
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Like you just like on a
Again.
pitch, just like full, like running
Have
as
you ever
fast.
seen those where like their best mates are like, we haven't ever seen you run, and
Yeah,
they get,
well,
oh, like,
that's
we
what
need to
that's
do
what
that.
I'm thinking about, like
Yeah.
just people that you just don't see run, and then when they go run, and like I'm a terrible, like my
Runner.
mechanics are horrible. I look awful. I actually do look like a giraffe almost. Like it is limmy. It's not nice to
No,
watch.
it's not nice when. No, I can tell you this for a fact. It's not nice when I run. It's definitely not a spectator sport. Speaking of spectator sports and the unfortunate mascot business, Meg Jones, she got the payback for that. Keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be making its way onto the internet very shortly, because
what's
she
that?
volunteered me for that PWR mascot race.
Did she?
So I got one back on her. Don't worry.
Oh,
It
can we
will-
know more?
it will-
She
no.
doesn't listen anyway. Don't worry.
No, I can't. It's not my secret to give away.
Okay.
It's
When
either
will we know?
on Wednesday.
Excellent.
It will be on the internet.
This is very
Keep an
soon.
eye out for it.
Perfect.
On the point you made about your body, Was, you said being skinny was so strange for you when you lost all of that muscle mass. You mentioned earlier that Sarah Byrne's been getting some comments on TikTok,
yeah.
which
bless
is
her.
unacceptable from fans.
Yeah, from fans just commenting on like body shape and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's hit her a little bit, which is obviously like devastating because she's an unbelievable athlete. Like honestly, that girl, the work that she gets through, how quick she can run and then hold up a scrum like she does, just remarkable.
She's an
So
absolute
for anyone
weapon.
to even like comment on it, I'm like, just move on. Do you know what I mean?
And have you
don't
ever
wanna
watched
be
the
here.
game?
If you don't want to be here, if you don't want to be a fan, just keep on
So
going.
true.
It's what
So
I
true.
always think, like, you're not paying to follow someone on Instagram or
No.
TikTok. Just unfollow, friend.
Yeah.
Just move along. Thank you. We don't need your feedback.
Yeah.
I think that's cool because I think there's a big change. I think at one point we were just like so grateful people wanting to watch, and now it's like, look, if you got nothing positive to say, we don't
Keep
want
going.
you, get out.
Yeah.
And I think that's
or
a, like a
like-
general.
I don't mind it being about the rugby. Do you
Yeah,
know what
no,
I mean?
yeah,
If you've
so-
got
yeah,
opinions about
fair.
that, as long as they're
Yeah.
fair and valid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair enough. Like have your opinions on it, because I think we're now at a point in our careers where we want to be like scrutinized. We want to be the same as the
100%,
men
yeah.
and on par as that. But if it's not about stuff like that, if it's about body image, like how many of the guys are you doing that to?
But also, if you don't like it,
wild.
you don't need to say it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Carry
don't
on.
think that in this day and age it is acceptable anymore to make comments about people's bodies. I think it is fair to ask a question. How have you managed this? How have you recovered? What are the things you've learned? What are the practical things, like you could share? But commenting on someone's body is not something we do in 2025 anymore. I saw this brilliant TikTok the other day where a woman goes around and she asks like a variety of women of different ages, how old were you when someone made a not positive comment about your body for the first time?
Oof.
oh,
How,
was
was
it
the young?
young?
How old was the youngest?
How old were you when
Oh,
someone
my
made
memory.
the first non-positive comment about your body
I couldn't even
that you
tell
can remember?
I reckon I was playing rugby, maybe not, but like it was more of a reference to being a girl. So like pull a hair or like that being different to boys at that point. It probably wasn't like a direct body image comment.
I can completely remember comments being made about my body, but also other girls' bodies around 7.
Wow. Brutal world.
I just and that is the fact that I can remember that.
How old's Addie now?
5.
So in 2 years. That's wild.
Super scary though as well.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first time someone said something non-positive about your body?
I don't think so. I always kind of felt that I was just bigger, but I it's hard to know, was that how I felt or was that how you were kind of made to feel?
Mm.
And
'Cause-
what-
but it was definitely in school, but I can't actually remember. I'm fortunate in the sense I've been pretty confident in someone who's not really been too-faced about what people say.
It's probably because you've always been into fashion. There we are.
Don't be better about it.
Your outfit is beautiful.
Your
Thank
cardigan's
you.
lovely.
yeah.
Your traps are bigger than hers as well, so
I
don't
know
worry.
if you're mocking me right now. Sorry, I was trying to make light of it.
I would struggle with the thought of like other female rugby players commenting on other players' weights like that, and I believe it's happened, and that don't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because rugby is a sport that more than any other sport out there is really important for young girls between 7 and 12, pre-puberty, to, in a very practical sense, be shown, not just told, but also shown that every body matters, in rugby, every body type has a job, has a function, has a role. And you particularly see that on TV when you watch the Women's Six Nations. It's the perfect showpiece on free-to-air TV, available to girls up and down the country, to see that it doesn't matter what body type you have, every body matters. It's so interesting that you guys don't recall negative, slightful comments made about your body, because the variety of women polled in this TikTok, all of them could pinpoint roughly an age that sat somewhere between 6 and 11.
Whoa.
That someone said something negative about their body for the first time. And these were women ranging from 25 to 65 in age. If a 65-year-old can remember the first time someone said something not positive about her body, then best you believe that this is the average experience for plenty of people out there, which is why I'm saying I think it's really important that if you do have thoughts about someone's body, you just keep them to yourself.
100%.
Because there is just no point.
I also think on that, get into sport, because I think that's probably like a common ground of why we don't, because you're also taught and you're around people that are so positive about everything you're doing, and the fact that your body is there for a purpose and that like it empowers you. So that's probably the reason why we can't remember, is because we're all very grateful for the bodies we have and the job that they do.
Yeah, they were celebrated as
Yeah,
opposed
100%.
to shamed for.
And it's the kind of sport where taking 20 tins of rice pudding with you to tour is something that is also celebrated.
Yeah. And eat your carbs.
So I have brought
Are
in
you
a
actually
tin.
gonna eat it?
I've brought in a tin of rice
Do you
pudding
need help?
because
Are you
this
about to
is
eat
what
this?
this is what Nevo Dowd apparently eats straight from the tin to help fuel her
I'm
performance.
with her on that though.
Do you want me to
Can't
help
go
you?
wrong with a bit of rice pudding, cold rice pudding.
Cold out of the tin,
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
I have never had this in my life
Are you
before.
joking?
Yeah.
You are missing out.
Someone help, because Mo's nails can't do that. She just
I
paid for the
tried.
manny. Sorry.
tried,
Sorry,
sorry.
girls. So did you do this? Was this your feeling?
I still do.
What, before a match?
Here we are.
Sometimes before bed, you know, like a
Yum,
bit
yum.
peckish.
Before bed?
Like just a bit of a snack. Oh, honestly.
It just looks like custard.
Out of the
Are you
tin?
quite serious? Yeah. Well, I'm sometimes might put in a bowl, but
Oh, that's a big
give
spoon.
it a stir though. Give it a stir.
That's
Give it a
big
stir.
spoon.
Yeah.
Do you not want to heat this up though?
This
Well,
is
I could do, but sometimes
For
I
the
just, I'm
audio
hungry.
listeners, we're sorry.
A bit of jam in it. A bit of jam.
Alma is
A little bit of
currently
jam.
stirring ambrosia. That was a big old mouthful, that.
I really feel like it needs to be warm, Katy.
No, but and if for you,
Come
you
on,
could.
honest, rate out of 10 and then give us an honest review.
Do you know what it tastes just like oats?
She's gone back to the spoon, so
It
No, it
tastes
doesn't.
nothing like oats.
It's basically just sweet and kind of creamy.
rice pudding.
I mean, it's a nice version of carbs, but it does need to be warm.
My nana used to make a banging rice pudding
Yeah.
from scratch. Oh my god, and amazing.
Grandma makes macaroni pudding.
Yeah.
Like,
Macaroni pudding?
Yeah, so it's basically the same, but obviously with macaroni,
With
but
macaroni.
like little.
But I feel
So
like it needs
good.
cinnamon.
No, it's so good.
Yeah, you could
So
do
like
that.
Sweet pasta.
Yeah. No, but it's like little ones. Don't judge it. You need to try it. Honestly, it's banging.
I'm with you.
I don't know if I'd be able to have a
I saw
whole
the
tin of
face.
that, though.
Grandma
Really?
listens, so just
Oh,
watches
quite
it.
easily. I
That
might
stuff's
take it when you're
heavy.
done.
That's if you have 400 grams of that, I'd need a nap.
That's why I'm having a
It's
protein
probably
shake
why
now.
she can get off the line like she can, because she's fueled like that. Maybe we should all take a leaf out of that book. I do sprint on the inside like you, though, so might not be able to do that. I enjoyed that line. I'm going to keep it.
Keep it in your pocket.
Yes.
Did you guys hear about Noddy's car, Nevo Dowd's car, the NIS? I saw the NIS after we wrapped the pod. It has seen better times. It is in the later stages of its existence. Yeah, no, I mean,
what was Scazzy's car called? The first one.
Oh, I can't
know which one I mean, don't
remember,
you?
but it was literally the longest thing. It was like her in car form. It was the longest
Honestly,
thing
and
we've
I've only ever
seen.
seen one of them, and it was like.
Yeah, it was like Vauxhall. It was
Oh,
like a
no.
Vauxhall Astra,
Was it
but
a
it
station
stayed
wagon?
or
No,
something.
it wasn't. It
Yes,
was like
it was
it
the
had a
big green
ridiculous
one.
name.
The big green one.
Yeah.
It was the longest thing ever. She loved it as well.
and my car, that when I went to uni, was 6 years older than I was, and had rusted through on the passenger side. And it was very rainy where I studied. So in winter, if you sat in the passenger seat, your feet would necessarily either be on a very soggy carpet or be getting active rain
As if.
coverage, which a 10 out of 10 would not recommend currently. May she be serving someone somewhere well, Agatha, or maybe she's just a rusted up ball somewhere on a heap now.
Sad.
Farewell,
R.I.P.
tiny little old golf. Speaking of golf, how has the sport of golf been going for you, Moses?
Seamless that.
Have you been Rory McIlroy? On a scale of 0 to Rory McIlroy, how has this gone for you?
Right, I'm actually gonna claim I've been all right. I hadn't hit the ball in like 2 years, apart from we went to the driving range not that long ago.
You're prefacing this way too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, get
but
to.
was all right. Was all right.
Okay. Bots, you, Scaz, and?
Lucy Backs.
Okay, give us the ranking.
We were all very similar. Bots couldn't really play because she hurt her neck. So Bots basically just did like short games, so you kind of count her out of it. Scazzy
With the big drive,
with
I'm
the
guessing.
big drive, yeah, putting horrendous. Lucy, unbelievable little putter, very good.
Danger, danger.
And I would have like an all right shot in all areas, but not consistently at all. So we were all kind of all right. It was a good little 4-ball actually.
But you now still haven't told us who won.
Because I don't want to.
So it wasn't you.
Basically, we didn't score, and technically, like the last hole, we said winner takes all, and Scaz beat me.
Oh,
So Scaz technically won.
classic.
So I didn't want to say that out
Typical
loud. But
Scaz.
yeah, isn't it? She was literally shite all round, and then like the last one that actually counted, she was decent, and she putted like a decent putt as well.
Maybe the secret is in the chinos.
CHINOOS. Don't our new post-match crew outfits.
Oh,
Do you like them? No.
I see. That when we were
bitter
talking
actual
about crew
time.
earlier, I was gonna grab you. I was like, the burgundy trousers,
Yeah,
but
the burgundy trousers, but there's a long wide leg fit, which you've probably seen a lot of people in, and there's also a chino option. And honestly, anyone that came in the changing room in the chinos, Marley Packer put her chinos on, everyone's like chinos, like went mental about it. And then some of the staff walked in them, and anyone that walked in, Lou walked in her chinos, all went wild. It was a real thing, and I really enjoyed it.
The get ready with me effort, I think you guys really need to work on.
You do realise that was a joke. Just gonna throw that out there. We thought we were so funny. Honestly, too good.
I laughed at you laughing at yourself, but I would like you to be
We thought we were
high
so funny.
performance athletes,
Honestly,
yeah, and
Oh.
do some actual trying for us next
no,
time.
I think that's the way I'm gonna go. If you want more content, I think that's the way I'm gonna go. Is just a real piss take about it all.
Okay, cool.
If that's okay with you.
Is that how you approached your team of the week, Katy Daley-Mclean?
Well,
A piss take.
shots fired yet again. How long was that? Well, that was 52 minutes
Mate, that's
before.
decent. That
What?
52. That's a while.
Usually that's in the opening, so I
Yeah.
think she was being polite because we had guests.
Go on,
Talk us through your
which bit?
selections. Come
Which
on.
bit?
What's your
Coach.
problem? No.
Yeah,
Coach
you got your
Katy M.
you
Tell
come
me what
up
your
with the
problem is first.
Because Katie hates doing these.
Yeah, I don't even get paid for them. These are freebies.
You've changed.
I know.
You have changed.
Look at her. She doesn't need an agent. She'll just do the negotiations herself.
Gotcha.
Okay, so give us the 9-10, Stefan and Harrison. Give us the motivation there.
No, basically, my logic for this is that obviously England are very, very dominant. I think a lot of the girls are in really good form. However, what I've tried to do, Elma, is look at the game and pick players that have a broader impact for their team. So some people might disagree with some of my selections. However, they can do one. And I've tried to look at people, and I thought like Sophia went really well for Italy in terms of her kicking game, her speed to break down. She kept Italy moving. I thought
Sail.
so thank you.
Not biased,
I got,
not biased,
I got a
not
couple of
biased.
them in. And Zoe Harrison, I think, is going really well. I thought her second half play, her running game overall, I think, if I'm honest, it was a weekend of 10s. I thought like Irish 10 went well, Dan O'Brien went well. I thought the French 10 went well.
She's got really high standards.
Yes.
Standards.
Especially
That's
at
why
10.
I shouldn't come on this show. It's
No.
nothing for me. All my
No.
followers. How to lose 2,000 followers in one night. And friends.
I was going to say, it's mainly friends. That's what
it was limited before this.
No,
yeah.
I really feel for you because when they sat us on this sofa and made us pick the Lions team, it was not fun. Not one part of us wanted to do that. It was hell, and a lot of people had a lot of opinions on it.
I did see one the other day though. World Rugby made Rachel Burford pick
Yeah,
England now and England from 2014, and I was like,
I know.
that was rough. That was rough.
Ouch. On the topic of 10s, Rhona O'Gara gave a great quote on Donna. We've obviously been talking about this brilliant young fly half in the Irish team, and you guys on the Rugby Union Weekly pod, you and Sarah Orchard still spoke about how it's great to see that youth and confidence come through, but obviously you also need a bit of depth to balance that out. But Rhona O'Gara talked about her on off the ball, saying when they asked him about how to cope when you've not been your best off the tee and you have to go again the following week. Like, how do you find that composure, find that confidence, especially when you're a really young player? And he said, at 21, your process is in its infancy and you feel like it's let you down. And if you're raging against your routine, that's exactly why you do all of the training with the same process for the amount of kicks that you kick. I thought I had a really good technique as a youngster, but when it came to real pressure, I didn't. You can either sweep it under the carpet, but it'll come back to bite you again if you do, or you can look in the mirror. So he's saying, stay the course, even if you miss. Don't change. Don't fiddle with it. It's a bit like a putting technique. You just have to decide what it is and keep going regardless of the outcome. Agree?
100%. I think that like the phrase about raging against your routine is so true, because I think you naturally, or I definitely did, I naturally want to change something. So like, I'll just change this, and then you get a bit of success from it, and you're like, oh, fixed it. And actually, like you say, then it comes under scrutiny again. And I think when you look at what makes the best, like you could talk about Scaz in this, like her routine was very, very precise. And I used to like kick with them and be like, there she goes again with a replica of the routine. I'm much more of a field-based kicker, and it probably was why I was nowhere near as competent as she was, because under pressure, actually, she just fell into routine. So I think it's really cool from him, isn't it, to talk about that, like somebody who is so influential in the Irish game, but also to have interest in the women's game as well. Like for Dana O'Brien, that must be pretty cool.
Yeah. And she kicked that conversion against New Zealand in the autumn, the winning 2 points. That's crucial. And it's so important to have that conversation around young kicking players in the women's game, when that's been an area where the women's game has previously been criticised, but is also showing so much growth and so much development. I mean, her left boot, her kick chase. I mean, there's just so much there to work with, and also her defensive reads. On that 10 shirt for England, though, Zoe Harrison has been literally just grabbing it and running with it, which is really great to see if you're an England fan. But is this what we've seen so far, Katy Daley-Mclean? Mitch saying she's got it.
Ooh. Well, I mean, we could look at Mo for this. Dun, dun, dun. I think, look,
Mo has covered her eyes.
Yeah. And it has been staring at the ceiling as you opened that.
Yeah.
Mo does not want to get involved.
Mo is literally sunk into the couch.
Luckily, I will always offer an opinion.
Perfect.
And
that is why you're very, very good for this show, actually.
Thank you.
We are.
I think, look, if you're talking about players who are in form and going well, like, you can't argue against it. I think what's super interesting for me now, because obviously you know this really well, England have kind of chopped and changed, just like one group, another group. We haven't really seen Holly Aitchison in that 10 shirt. Like, she's come on at 12, she's been on the bench. So I thought at this point we would have at least seen like a head-to-head competition. I think Helena was all right again, went in her shot, but probably didn't do enough maybe to get another. But he's gone with Zoe. She went really well against Wales. I thought she was all right. Our kicking game, our goal kicking game, running game were good. We haven't seen Holly there since WXV, whether she'll get another shot there, or whether he's saying, look, hey, until you lose it, it's yours. It's a really interesting one, because so much of the style and the play comes through your fly half, in my opinion.
I also think we don't know. Like, I'm in that camp and I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the minute, I think it's combinations, working stuff through. And, like, I don't know. So, there we are.
Would you tell us if you knew?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Probably not here, but off air.
Oh, she hasn't told me anything off air, just for the record.
No, I'm only playing. Genuinely, like, honestly, don't know. And I don't think they do either. I think that's the beauty of us at the minute, is no one really knows that every time you get that opportunity, you have to go at it. Like, and I think you're seeing some people's like best rugby because the pressure's on, and a lot of people thrive in that. Do you know what I mean?
It's awesome though as well, because as fly halves, it's probably one of the few positions that you're generally getting to go each other. Even if you're in attack and defence, you get an opportunity to control a game or have a moment, whether you're in that shirt or not. And it's probably similar to nines. There's very few other positions where really, if you're in defence, it kind of is dictated by other people. But if the ball's turned over and you have a moment, you've got basically a load of opportunity to try and be like, oh.
You've got the platform, so that's when you know you have an opportunity to prove your point. Now, this is really important context for all of our new friends who've just pulled up a chair. And if you have, I'm not slighting you, I'm here to help. Zoe and Holly were colleagues at Saracens until the end of 2023. And then Holly moved to Bristol to go grab the 10 shirt over there for herself. Now, Holly played in the centres, having joined Saracens from England Sevens in 2020 after she'd spent 4 years on the circuit. Zoe's international career was stalled by an ACL injury at the beginning of 2023, which is why Holly Aitchison then took over the reins for Saracens and for England, where she has remained until pretty much this campaign. So it's really crucial to talk about this moment in England's development in this position specifically and around the 10 shirt, because Zoe's gone from strength to strength at full fitness and really growing and showing what she can do there. As a forward, what are you looking for your 19 from your 19 combination, Emma Wassell?
Your turn.
What makes the
I
difference?
was a wee bit lost in this conversation.
What makes you care? At what point do you pay attention? When there's a conversion kick up for grabs?
No. Normally, when it's between going for post or taking corner for a line out, I'm like, going to go for the corner, right?
Yeah, come on. Give it to me.
No, I think, like, obviously, we do put a lot of pressure on our 9s and 10s to almost be the decision makers. And I think actually within Scotland, I think actually not taking away the responsibility, but sharing like that responsibility between especially like our back line in terms of the decisions we make and stuff. Like I've just noticed a huge amount of pressure that goes on 9 and 10s. I think for us to kind of work the best is actually when that responsibility is shared, if that makes any sense. It's hard to say what I want from my 9.
Yeah.
I want exactly what Helen Nelson would give me on the pitch.
Of course she does.
Good answer.
There we go.
That
That is the
all I would
correct
want.
answer. Bing, bing, bing. Media training test passed. Done. Okay, Scotland 17, Italy 25 in Edinburgh. I saw you platting Sarah Bonner's braids, putting the power into the braids. The TV work last time around, you were late for the BBC because you were putting the power in the braids. Were you on time this week?
No, I mean I was just there as a
+1
this weekend.
Ah.
I like as in there was an arrival time for the. I was late for that, but yeah, I
Did they
I
know
was
why?
late.
But
No, but I
Were
think
they
you know
bothered?
the
No.
arrival time was too early anyway. It's just, I'm not even that good of a platter. That's why, like, I'm not one. You know how in your team, everyone you've got your really good, but she puts a lot of faith in me to put that into her. So I do tiny little pleats in her hair bubble.
Is there a little power?
Didn't work out this time,
Yeah, I was going to
unfortunately.
say, is there a little power pep talk that goes along with the power in the braids?
No,
Nothing.
Just
it's quality time.
yeah, it is just a little bit of before kind of getting on the bus. I probably do it as late as possible before she has to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, they obviously didn't work this time round.
Okay.
But actually, you know what? I think she played very well. In a pretty tough game, I do think she stood out. So maybe it
She
did.
was close to getting in my team of the week,
No, she was. I mean, yeah,
but she didn't.
but she did. Sarah Tennessee was very good. She put in some shots.
And that's why she was selected by Katy Daley-Mclean.
Thanks, Alma.
In the words of Alma, can we just give the braiders their flowers?
Yes.
Because honestly, they put in the right shift.
It's insane.
It's
As
crazy.
in,
Yeah.
they schedule from like between we've got Evie Gallagher and Ellis Martin. The schedule goes up from like 8 a.m. They are up first thing and they're back to back doing people and they're preparing for a game as well.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Wouldn't be me.
No, it is so brutal. Lark is the only platter in the team at the minute.
Oh, is she?
The poor girl. Yeah.
Oh, on her
Drama.
own.
I know.
The entire England team.
I know.
Oh gosh.
We get
Lark.
a platter for home games, which is nice because then Larky gets a bit of a break. But it's just brutal. And Sis, when we do Gloucester, she's very good. You had the pleasure of being her
Platted. Looked
She-
good as well.
She is absolute pro. Speaking of people who really make a difference in spaces, the fact that you have spoken so generously and so openly about grief in the last week. Do you know that I sat and bawled my flippin' eyes out at your last Instagram post? And then I thought how powerful and important a moment this is for us to acknowledge the fact that you are growing and with so much self-awareness is talking about something so painful and deeply personal that the comments on your post about the loss of your mom and the anniversary of that a year ago was probably the most heartwarming thing I've seen on the entire internet over the last week.
People are incredibly kind and I've kind of taken a lot of comfort in that. I think it's hard sometimes to be open about it, but actually when you are open about it, the support is just so, incredible. I think it's a tricky time of year, and it probably will be for a lot, like as in this time last year, obviously I was preparing for Six Nations, like my life literally changed that day. It was a difficult kind of, it was something I really did want to say, and I haven't spoke hugely about it, but I have had a lot of people say, like, you're so strong, and I know that's something I think a lot of people say when you kind of manage to smile and carry on. But I consciously, after my mum passed, I consciously thought, like, my mum did so much for me personally to see me happy or to see me succeed, and when I even reflect on what she gave up as, like, what she gave up in her life just to see me and my brother happy, and I really just thought, I'm like, for me to carry on to, and I'm not saying people can't be sad, because you definitely get sad, but I didn't want to mope. I really was like, all she would want from me right now is to embrace people I have around me, the opportunities I have, just be happy. And I know it's so easy to say be happy, and I've just consciously been aware of things that make me happy, and to just really be in the moment with it. And I just think it would be a disservice to her for me not to continue to completely embrace and enjoy life. It's definitely brought a different side out to me. I think I lost my dad when I was 10 years old, so I wasn't a stranger to grief, like, as in, that's a really young age to go through it, and it's really confusing because you're still learning who you are. My life was just very different, and I think that almost hardened me a little bit, in the sense I always kind of maybe sometimes expected the worst growing up, and I wasn't a hugely emotional person at all. I think a lot of people will say Emma won't cry. Like, I was pretty hardened, and it was a protection thing for me.
Survival.
Yeah. But after Mum passed last year, I almost feel like it's probably completely softened me to everything. I feel like I've gone, not my view of life, but how I've kind of gone into things. I've just hopefully got an open heart, and just kind of, embrace love. I don't know. It's a bit gushy.
That's not gushy at all. Have you surprised yourself how you've come through it, or how you are coming through it? Because I feel like from the outside, obviously I don't know you that well at all, but like, you just are absolutely smashing life. Do you know what I mean? What it seems like.
I think what I found not surprising, is obviously I had a bit of a year going into hospital, obviously having everything with the tumour, sternotomy. It was quite horrific, and so many people supported me and kind of couldn't get over how I could get through that, and they were just like, I can't believe you're going through this. And honestly, going through all that, I thought, honestly, this is nothing. Like, as in, after going through, like, losing your mum, like, I don't think there's physically me going through all that in hospital by myself. Like, I was already prepared for it. Like, I was prepared for it, because there's nothing that will ever compare or feel harder than what I had to go through a year ago. It would, like, and that's the hard bit, is reflecting on just that moment. And there's never a perfect goodbye. There's never a perfect, like, ending to it all. And I've had to accept that, and I think that's been hard. But once I've kind of accepted that and moved on, like, I feel pretty invincible. I feel like it is it is equipped me well for life. But I want to, like, I obviously share it because I'm fortunate enough to kind of be in that presence online and stuff. But for me, like, I want people to remember my mum as the kind of person she was. Like, she was, if an actual ray of sunshine. I think there's a lot of funny stories. She was your very typical embarrassing mum, I would say. She flew out to New Zealand herself to come watch me in a World Cup, and I now can reflect on that, and like, bless her, like, at the time sold the car so she could afford to fly out to New Zealand, and she's a 65-year-old woman by herself, getting on a flight, and now, yeah, I'm just so fortunate I've had that opportunity to see my mum has watched me play in a World Cup in New Zealand, and then memories just feel so precious now.
It's such a good it's such a good reminder of the value of the now. Your post said that your appreciation of life has changed forever, and that the day she passed, you promised that you would do what makes you happy and enjoy the life you have with the incredible people you have in it. And it's such a valuable lesson, because we tend to look ahead, we tend to live for that next thing on the horizon so often.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, at the time when she did that, when she sold the car, when she decided to fly to New Zealand to watch you play, some people might have gone, that's absolutely bonkers. But now in hindsight, you just go, that's exactly the kind of committed mom she was, and we love and celebrate her for that.
And this, like, I stand, like, I am so incredibly lucky, albeit there's been a lot of unlucky things, but like, I've got them experiences, like, I just, yeah, and the way I've been supported since then, like, it's just, I do feel so lucky in what has been a pretty unlucky situation.
Thank you for sharing her with us.
No, I wish, you know what, the first time I was on this podcast, we were at Murrayfield. That was days before, like, when that got released. But I do actually have a video of my brother, of her. You'll have seen the video of her when celebrating my try and stuff, but watching the pod in front of the TV, like, kneeling of me. Well, anything I was on, she would watch it on repeat. Like, she was obsessed with me. She was obsessed with me.
Were you a favourite?
My brother, even my brother now, he's always like, oh, Emma's so amazing. She's just so amazing. But no, we she was just and again, sometimes I just wish you could appreciate more at the time, just such a proud mum. And I am so lucky that I can go on the rest of my life and know how proud she was, and I will continue to hopefully make her proud.
And be her living legacy here with us. I love that. And now it's time for Mo's favourite section on the show. The Conti question of the week. Thanks to Continental Tyres, the official tyre partner to England Rugby. The first Conti question of the week, all of them, sorry, Katy Daley-Mclean, they're all aimed at Mo. You are welcome to weigh in, though. The first one, Amanda Ware wants to know,
So kind of you.
why are all your fingers taped up, Mosef?
They're broken.
Yeah, it actually really helps with grip.
What kind of tape is this?
So basically, I heard a podcast.
I love this story.
Back in the day, 2015 World Cup, there was a Japanese scrum half, wish I knew the name, don't know the name, that came in and trained alongside England. Do you know?
No,
you don't know. Anyway, and they taped their fingers because it was like really humid.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Young started doing it, heard about it, tried it, game changing. When it's wet, honestly, any young scrum halves, I know I look horrendous. I'm not coming at you for fashion yet, but I know I look horrendous, but it honestly changes the game.
Cheap
when it's
version
wet
of a
on the
stick
floor.
mitt, that is.
Yeah.
Rather
Basically,
than
if
buy
I
a
could
glove.
wear gloves, if they were socially acceptable, Beckett the other day was like, should we bring back gloves, guys? Like, let's all get gloves. I was like, Beckett, I am not doing that. And like, she honestly, and then the next week she'd be like, guys, should we all wear headbands? I'm like, no, Beckett, I'm not wearing a headband. I don't play rugby well enough to wear a headband. I sprint on the inside. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not wearing a headband. But anyway, yeah, it really helps with grip, especially if it's wet, or like sometimes they water the pitch just before kickoff, which I really enjoy when teams do that. It's my favourite.
How dare they?
Yeah.
It's great for a run and kick, though.
Yeah, it is. But
Skid.
if it's
Skid.
wet on the floor as a scrum half, it can be an absolute nightmare. So
Yeah, grounds people.
you're all welcome. There we are. Let's see how many people start taping their fingers.
Please tag us when you do this.
No,
so
don't,
that-
because
Please
I've tried so many times with like, so obviously Leia's at club. We've had Katy Matt at club, and I'm like, guys, like you need to try it. It really helps. Like it's game changer. I think we've even said to Jenny Max before, and no one, not one person, has tried it because of how horrendous it looks.
Everyone's
it?
like, cool story, Mo.
I don't think they have, but in my head, I'm like,
Why not?
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I can do the
Line
way
out with
hands.
your fingertips.
If it's wet,
Imagine.
if it's wet, honestly, try it.
Game changer in the line out,
Yeah.
maybe.
Any specific tape?
So I actually use the line out one, but it's cut in half.
Okay.
Or like you can get a thin line out one
Mm,
that people take their thumbs with, so I use that.
okay.
Not finger tape. Finger tape doesn't work. It's the
Okay.
line out tape.
Line out tape.
Mhm.
There we go. Rebel Scrum 20 asks if
Sorry, the names get me every time. Rebel Scrum.
you are only allowed to submit a content question of the week if your handle is interesting enough. Rebel Scrum 20 wants to know if you were not able to play for England, but could choose any other nation to play for, who would it be and why? I want all of your answers.
I probably would have played. My granddad really wanted me to play for Scotland.
Right.
I wouldn't
Everyone
have
wants to play
chosen
for
Scotland.
You would have chosen
I
Scotland.
wouldn't have chosen Scotland.
But then who would you choose?
Oh,
This
who
is
would
the
I actively
question.
choose?
But you wouldn't have chosen them, is that what you said? You missed that.
Why?
No reason. So who's got the best kit? Somebody who's got a good kit.
France.
South Africa.
Oh, France, maybe.
They're so
Uh,
sharp, fashionable.
Fashionable.
Fashionable. The
Swagger.
Coq Sportif. I think I'd have rocked that.
They're just cool. I don't know what it is about the French. They're just cool.
I don't think I was cool enough to play
I
for
was
the
going to
French.
say, do you have enough
Oh,
of
there
that?
you go. Before you get there,
Jouet.
take that back. You can mock my fashion, but not my jouet.
Not your jouet. Okay. So France.
France.
Yeah, Katy Daley-Mclean, whatever the French version of McLean is.
McQueen.
I think I should play for Scotland. Works better.
It does. Other
I think I would have been France, but again, just
Again?
for the I gave you France there. I think France.
I'm going for Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Nice people.
Okay, cool. This is getting boring. Come on, Mo.
You were so
Do you know what? I'm
mean.
actually eligible for Wales, Ireland, and Scotland.
That wasn't the question, Mo.
Mad. There we are. We can leave it at that.
Wales, Ireland, and Scotland.
Apparently,
Pick one.
yeah. No. Linny, Wales now, with the girls. Flakes. Have Flakes as the 10. Oz, because of the climate.
Fair.
We
Which
have
one?
sunshine too in South Africa.
Fair. I've never been
But
to South
nobody
Africa.
chose that.
I'm
Just saying.
surprised you didn't. You lot love South Africa.
We do love South Africa.
And
I would
and there's
actually.
your long lost boyfriend is there, the one that you went on the one date with.
Did you?
Didn't know this story.
Wow,
Sorry,
exposed.
actually, funny you should say that because Tato Monkey has actually said, Emma Wassell, what is the story of the date you went on in South Africa?
You're lying.
No, I swear.
You
No,
are-
seriously. It's in yellow.
Sorry, it wasn't Tato. It was actually Sally Hunt 301.
Sally Ann 301 would like to know.
Bob W414 would like to know what the date was that
Are
you
you-
went
are
on in
you-
South Africa.
I might get set up.
A
I might
way
get
date?
set up.
Never.
Grandma Bob said.
Look, we were in South Africa for a while, and it's just passing time. I want to get to know the locals
And how did the date come about?
on an application. And I think that is a really modern way
Yeah.
Yes,
to meet
modern-
people
yeah.
now. That
Why
is.
wouldn't it be?
And it was lovely. It was really, really lovely.
You don't need to convince me. I love South African men.
No, I would have stayed there if I could.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, there's another question just come in. I'm playing.
I'm like, Mo, you need to just take it easier. This
I
is
just
still
really didn't
Continental's
think-
corner of the show,
I
remember?
really didn't think she'd answer. Conti are going to love it. Come at me.
Okay, quick fire. Gimme Rid wants to know, if you discovered a new tit, what would you call it, Mo?
Moat it. I don't know.
Is it a small one?
That's
Okay.
rude. Savage.
You're a small person. Sophie R_138 says, do you have a favourite Scazism?
No, she doesn't speak. Next. No, I can't think of anything funny Scaz said.
She says like reactions, like instead of swearing, she'll say like, oh, like,
Oh, the brown cow one.
How now? Yeah, what's that like? How now?
Yeah,
brown cow or
something
like-
ridiculous.
No, but
She'll
like-
say like golly gosh.
Yeah.
yeah.
She
Or
sounds
like
like someone's auntie.
Crumbs or something.
Yeah, she does say crumbs. She
Like,
says
oh,
crumbs.
crumbs.
Not a scazism, but Mac pointed out the other day that she doesn't actually laugh. She just shakes her shoulders, and honestly, it is the best thing ever. So instead of laughing, her like her face goes really like smiley, and she just shakes her shoulders. You need to look out for it.
And you will never be able to unsee it
Yeah.
now, by the way, Russ. Like, this is it.
Unreal.
It is going to be breaking you forevermore.
Oh,
And on that note, this rounds up this week's Conti Question of the Week, brought to you by Continental Tyres, proud supporters of girls rugby. Their Love Rugby program provides under 12s the chance to play rugby at festivals and showcases up and down the country. These are things we love to see.
Love.
At Mattioli Woods,
Yes.
this weekend,
Dun dun dun.
when England
Straight in.
hosts Scotland,
Ba, ba, ba.
what will Brian Eason be looking at in that first half England performance out in Cork that he'll be targeting and going, there is an opportunity for us?
oh yeah, I'm obviously not going to just tell you what he's thinking, but
Put on your Brian Eason hat for
no,
us.
you know what? I think that first half, if I'm being honest, you're not hugely going to reflect on England, but you are going to reflect on what Ireland did, because I do believe the pressure that they put on, you cannot, but you have to credit that, like as in their defensive pressure was something which, again, I think caused a little bit of issues.
Yeah, so if you get a 5-7 halftime score out of a match against England, you'd be like, yep, we'll take that.
Yeah, like 100%. And I think yeah, that's you can see, like, it was a good game first half to watch. It wasn't bad in the second half, but in terms of how different the two halves were, yeah,
There was a 78-point margin last year, and there was a
insane.
44-point margin this year, which shows you how much growth there has been. It's still a big score, but it's not nearly where it was last year. We would love you to bring all of your in-jokes to the game. If you are coming to Mattioli Woods, we will see you there. If you get on the TV with your great in-joke on a big sign, we would like to have you down in studio and come and join us on the show. I'm going.
Ooh.
I'm going to just go watch.
Oh.
Is it fun?
Yes.
Love that.
Why not?
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm a fan of you guys and what you do. So,
I'm going as fan.
Oh yeah.
but also, if you have an idea for what I must put on my sign, like a smart one, because
needs
I'm
help.
still thinking about this. I might ask ChatGPT. Let's
Come
all
on, you
take
can
our
do
signs
without it.
down and get on the TV so that Katy Daley-Mclean can give us a shout out.
Okay, I can do
Pick
that.
them out in the crowd. Nice.
I can
Yeah.
do that.
It needs to be something so specific and in-jokey that Sarah Orchard has to turn to Katy Daley-Mclean and say, Katy Daley-Mclean, do you have any idea what that means?
Like, for example, is it a home game for England or Scotland this weekend?
Got you. See what you did there.
That's not an in-joke.
Who's going to write that on a sign? Now it's an in-joke.
Okay, she has just created the in-joke. Baby with the bathwater would be mine.
Nice.
Mine
Elma.
would be a picture of the baby just skidding out
Yeah.
and the bath being empty.
Be careful with that, but yeah.
Or the Ark. Noah's Ark would be a good one.
Noah's Ark,
Yeah,
yeah.
Noah's Ark wasn't built in a day.
And the Colosseum somewhere.
I don't know how you get that into rugby. but
I mean, you could just,
England's first half performance, Noah's Ark wasn't built in a day.
don't worry, England, Noah's Ark wasn't built in a
You
day.
got this.
No worries.
John Mitchell will be throwing that baby with the bathwater out.
I think we need to give you some
don't think I
lines to work in the
understand.
commentary as well.
I don't understand
Work
that
in the
enough.
baby and the bathwater
Okay.
in commentary for us, please. We have decided to dust off the Good, the Scaz and Rugby notice board,
Oh,
which
I
is
love
a
this one.
fun corner of the show we did previously.
Sorry, I do.
Mo is a big fan.
I
Do you know
love that.
who else is a big fan? Amy Cocaine is a big fan of the segment of the show.
Yes.
She has sent us a message and said, will you please tell the people to mark their calendars if they are in Northampton, Twickenham or Gloucester, because the inter-services is kicking off this week. Now, this is when Navy play RAF and Army play Navy, and then RAF play Army, so they all play one another.
See what you did
Northampton
there.
on the 19th of April, at Allianz Stadium on the 3rd of May, and Gloucester, Kingsholm on the 17th of May. You can see both the men and the women. I did see a clip this week where our Scaz talks about the fact that when she was small, Why are you laughing, Katy Daley-Mclean? Do you know where I'm going? When she was a smallie, she wanted to be a police officer.
Never heard that in my life.
I had also never heard this.
Never heard that in my life. You?
She said she wanted to chase people. Does she not know the police have cars?
Is
Or
she okay?
She hates running.
Did she just make that up on the spot? Was it like a mo-tip moment or what?
she was very earnest about it. What did you want to be when you were small?
I wanted to be a PE teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
And basically you did.
I did that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
your dreams came
completed it.
true.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
You didn't want to be a
Aim
Red
high.
Rose. You wanted to be a PE teacher.
No, I wanted to play for England in something,
In something.
but I didn't know what that
Yeah.
might become.
Indiscriminate, vague.
Yeah,
Like
just at sport.
representative at sport.
Mhm.
What did you want to be when you were a smallie?
I think it changed quite a lot, but it wasn't anything to do with sport. Like I definitely wanted to do something to do with, I think, like art, interior design.
When you
and
were
then
7?
young, yeah. Like, but I honestly developed quick.
What kind of 7-year-old wants to
Sat
be
there
an
watching
interior
Homes
Seven,
Under the
designer?
why,
Hammer.
I didn't know it was 7 specifically. I just when you said when I was young.
Did you have Homes Under the Hammer in Scotland?
Huh?
Did you have Homes Under the Hammer in Scotland? Well, I don't know if you have different telly. Why is that funny?
We are honestly not that far away.
From Gloucester, you are.
That's worse than my Scottish accent.
No, it's not. There will be other people out there, back me up, that think that telly's different. I didn't even know if I need an adapter this weekend.
You're going to Leicester.
No, last weekend.
Oh.
Ireland.
In Ireland.
It's the same plugs in case anyone cares. Anyway.
Oh, Katy Daley-Mclean, what is it you wanted to do when you were 7?
Don't know.
Did you have no ambition in the world?
None.
Did you not want to be like a nurse? Or...
I can't remember what I did last week, Elma.
Okay.
We're going back
She
32
has
years,
twins.
mate.
She has twins. That's her excuse
Changes.
for everything.
What did you
It's a
want to be?
really good one.
I wanted to be Elvis.
No.
No, that makes sense.
That was
adds up.
better than I ever thought it was going to be, and I'm not surprised.
I genuinely, I still so clearly remember asking my teacher what rock and roll was in Afrikaans.
Oh.
And she said you just put the little ears on it, and you can write rock and roll. She showed me how to write it, and I had just somewhere in my head had heard about this guy who danced a lot and got to perform in front of people, and he was called the King, and I was like, I want to be the King. Put me up there. I could definitely do this.
I
love
wanted
you.
to be Elvis.
And he wears a fun outfit. I
Hey
mean,
guys, ignore all
sparkles.
the other signs.
yeah, I
There
still
we are.
remember I drew a picture of a blonde Elvis, blonde
you?
hair. I was like, I literally foresaw it, manifested it.
Right, how many signs of Elma's face can we get as Elvis this weekend? That is it. That's the challenge. New challenge. Scrap all of the other puns. I want the best Elma Elvis.
I can't wait. I'm so here for it.
Elvis.
Okay, let's
See
quickly
what you did
rattle through things to look forward to on Saturday. Italy versus France.
Ooh.
A match that now has just got so much spicier. Both teams come off a big win over the last week and are going into that hot on the trot. England hosts Scotland at Mattioli Woods. Is it a home game?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
And
knows?
on Sunday, Wales versus Ireland.
Ooh.
Two teams that have now both suffered losses they really didn't want to, and at definitely margins they didn't want to be at. They are playing at Rodney Parade.
Great name.
Rodney Parade. What does Rodney look like when he parades? This is the question.
Who knows?
I'm
Like
going very
Elvis.
mo here. Yeah, like Elvis,
Don't know
but
if that's
blonde.
offensive.
Uh,
I'm so lost.
For the
What happens.
best.
This is what happens. You haven't been here with me before, have you?
okay.
Bouncing off walls
It's
here.
always like that when she's here.
Sorry.
What does training look like now, Emma Wassell? When are you back in full training? When will you be
Me personally,
full?
Yeah,
Full.
obviously.
Like when are,
you.
when are you back in like full contact? Not
so
just hitting?
I have now been doing line outs, which is an absolute joy.
I actually saw the reel of you lifting your physio
oh my god,
and her wobbling.
like we had said so many times, we're like, just stay as tight as possible, just pencil in the air, no stress. Like she was pretty confident of the whole situation. And she full blown like just salmoned in the air. Like as soon as she left the ground, the legs went out, her core just
Buckled.
gone. And she was like, I just did not think it was going to be that high. It was just so high.
We need to chuck you up.
Yes, that would be another good one.
Yeah.
I watched
Elvis
that.
flying on the weekend. Let's get it. Let's make it
I'd
happen.
be like a wet
Elvis.
bag of potatoes. They would just be like, I just wobble. Like
You
that.
can let go of her though. I reckon you could get her up.
Well,
on
you
your
could
ass.
actually
Throw.
chuck.
Yeah.
But again, I think I actually enjoyed it because
Why would I
appreciation
do
for the
this?
skill of going in there.
Yeah, no. I could have told you before you lifted her this would go badly.
Can we do it?
The rest of us don't have that core like thing that you guys have where you can stay pencil in the air. No. This sounds like a terrible idea and a
What
highway
about-
to a broken collarbone.
No.
No.
No, but
you
you
wouldn't
would
do
be
that.
with like.
Do you
It'd
think
be
I
an
would fall?
ankle on the way
let you
down.
Do you
drop.
think I'd fall straight down?
No, you
Why
they'd
would
catch
catch
you.
you?
They would
Oh,
catch
you'd fall
you.
like this. So it'd probably be your nose. Collarbone would be fine.
They would catch you.
I would really like to retain the shape of my nose. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Like I didn't pay for her, but my
Wrists?
mom gave me a nice one, so I'll keep her like this. Thank you very much. Okay, so things are looking good for the warm-up games. Is that what you're saying?
So yes, I will hopefully by the end of the Six Nations, I've had a good amount of kind of contact exposure.
Mhm.
We'll get the May off. Hopefully, I'll not be fully off, and then come the start of June, that's pre-season and World Cup prep, and I
Dun, dun,
should
dun.
hopefully be
Dun dun dun.
Fire in.
Ready to kill somebody, literally.
ready.
Wow.
I know, but I feel there's a bit of pressure. There is a bit of pressure because
Nah.
It's not.
I was
Mate,
saying
it's
to this,
not.
like, it's so easy when you're not playing to like comment on things, be like, oh, that's not really good enough, or you can be better there, and then I'm gonna step up and they'll be like,
Yeah, but you also you'll get like a bit of grace period as well, so it's perfect. Because if you're rubbish,
she had a
And-
tumour.
yeah, exactly. But ouchie,
100%.
ouchie.
And to
Scaz
your
bits up.
earlier point, you're invincible now, so.
No, I know. That's actually after everything. I was kind of like a real awareness of what my body could go through, and I'm like, I'm feeling
got
feeling good about it.
Contact is nothing. I had a tumor that grew hair and teeth, guys. I mean, hello. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing the shoulder pads and all of the self-awareness.
Thank you for having me again.
It's always
I
great
love
having
it
you.
here.
May you double in audience size in the next week.
Yeah.
We're so
Yeah.
excited for this.
Please.
For us all.
Please hit 20. Thank you.
If Was hits 20, Elma would do a line out lift.
No. We don't have that kind of insurance. We need to negotiate this first.
25.
Thank you, Katy Daley-Mclean.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Welcome.
It was lovely to see both of you. We've been the Good, the Scaz, and the Rugby, in case you didn't know that. I mean, you've made it this far, which is impressive. Brought to you in partnership with Vodafone, as usual. The Good, the Scaz, and the Rugby is a folding pocket production produced by...
Shira Kilgallen.
I'm definitely not doing the line out thing.